Welcome back to the Pause Rewind Play podcast. It's been maybe a minute or two since you've heard from us. You've got myself, Josh, here, and we've got Vince.
Hey, how's it going?
Just going to be us two flying this time. Our other co-host, Casey, loves us very deeply, but he lives kind of far away, so we got to make do sometimes.
We haven't done this in like a year. Is that what we decided that we looked at?
Yeah, the last episode we did was we're doing our top 10 of 2025. The last episode we did was top 10 of 2024. So
apparently we didn't have a lot to say over the last year.
Does that mean these movies are going to be bad, Vince? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
So yeah, so we're excited to kind of jump into it. I did want to quiz you really quick.
Okay.
It's been a year since our last episode. I wanted to see how good your memory was. I was listening to that episode on the way over here.
Oh no.
I was just listening towards the end. Give me your best guess. It doesn't have to be in order, but try to guess yourself, mine, and Casey's top 3 from 2024.
This is going to be hard because I don't even remember. I had to go through my letterbox just to see what came out this year.
That's the thing.
I rack my brain to even remember what came out in 2024.
We're talking about some that might have come out over 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. You got them on there?
I do got them on here. Let's see. I know there's one you got to know that's on both yours and mine.
That came out in 2024? I can't even remember, man.
Park City.
Oh, what was the name of that one?
It's What's Inside.
It's What's Inside. That came out a year? That was 2024?
2024.
I thought that was like 2 years ago now.
Well, that's because we went and saw it at Sundance, and so we saw it in like January 2024, but then it got released on Netflix in like October or something. So we saw it over 2 years ago.
It's been a long time.
So that's fair. So let's see. So Casey's top 3 were from 1 to 3, Conclave, a movie called Oddity, which Casey always has a strange one up there. We love him for it. And then Dune Part 2. Yours were It's What's Inside, The Wild Robot, and Strange Darling.
Strange Darling was good. I forgot about that one.
Strange Darling. I think it was like my 6 or something like that. It was definitely up there. And then mine were Dune Part 2, It's What's Inside, and The Substance.
Substance was good too. Dune Part 2, man. I'm back on that Dune train after seeing that trailer.
You're back on it? Oh, dude.
I'm pretty sure the last episode I was a little bit like off, kind of like over it a little bit. So like Dune Part 2, I wasn't nearly as excited as I should have been for it, having that on that list. But I saw that new trailer for the one coming up, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's time to bust out the books again and start getting into that world a little bit, get ready for the finale.
I'm excited. Have you watched the Dune show on HBO Max?
I tried, and
I haven't seen it.
It felt a little corny.
Really?
I hate to say it.
That's sad.
I remember watching it and being like, I am not believing any of what's going on right now, you know? I'm not losing myself to the world like I want to.
And I think I was the opposite, maybe just because I hadn't been. Like, I watched the first Dune right before the second Dune came out and was like really, or like a month or two before, and then watched that and just was loving it. So was just like really digging into the world at that point. So I loved it. Just that's how it
mean, it's an amazing movie. It's an incredible movie.
It's so good. And I'm very excited for the final installment this year, which, speaking of sci-fi, so obviously this kind of whole episode, normally we do a quick catch up of like, hey, what have you been watching lately? Let's do a quick version of that for anything that you've seen recently that's not going to be on your list for top movies of last year. And so I want to start that off with, speaking of sci-fi, I saw that you saw Project Hail Mary.
I did, yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was great. It was heartwarming. It was entertaining. It's a fun space adventure with a frigging entertaining rock man. What's his name? His name is Rocky, right?
Rocky, yeah.
Yeah. I've been constantly saying amaze whenever Angela does anything now.
Oh man, so good. I love it. Did you read the book?
I know. No, I didn't. I own it. I bought it, and
it's good.
In the last 6 months, I've thought about reading it multiple times, but ever since like I've only been hearing good things before, like over the last few months, like from all of the, podcasters and stuff that had actually like seen trailers or whatever. All the buzz about it was all about how amazing the movie was. And so I didn't want to ruin the movie by reading the book. You know how it is? If you read the book, it's always like the book was better. So I heard all these amazing things. So I was like, not going to read it. I'll read it after I see the movie because Won't spoil things. I'll enjoy it more. And I really did like it though. It was great.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you liked it. I also liked it a lot. I did read the book beforehand, and so I feel like the first time I went and watched it, I had a little bit of that where I was like, oh man, like, because like the book can always just go into so much more detail, and with Andy Weir in his books, there's such a big science element to it, right? Of like actually digging into the science and going through, and so kind of like they have to do. I was talking about this actually with my boss earlier because he had also seen it. He was like, I thought it was interesting because like other movies they go through and they do these montages for this or that or whatever. It's like this had the little like science montages of like them like going through and working through a problem where like the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, let down because like they would say like do a quick montage or say like one corny line that I was like, this was like a whole thing in the book. But then I was like, if they did every one of those little things, like the movie would be 6 hours long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would probably like that, but it probably wouldn't appeal to the mass audiences. So yeah, of course, I do still think the book is better and liked it just because of how much depth it could go into and was my first experience to it. But I went and saw the movie a second time just with some friends who all went and saw it together. And the second time especially, I was more so just like, I would just like kind of understood and was like, you know what, it kind of had to be this way. And I enjoyed it even more on the second viewing and just, I loved it. I'm sure that in 1 year's time, when we go over our top 10 of 2026, it's going to be on there for me for sure. 100%. So
I'll note that in my brain so that I'll be able to guess your stuff.
remember. Amaze. You've been watching anything good lately?
I can't think of any movies off the top of my head, but there's been some great TV shows that I've watched recently. I've talked to you, I think, about it. Or at least I told you to watch it a little while back. But
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Sorry.
I'm still a part of the comic book gang or whatever. I can still appreciate a good comic book movie. This does not feel like a comic book show or movie. Like it's a TV show about an actor and his washed up actor friend and trying to get a job in Hollywood, and it's amazing. It was so good. It's grounded. I mean, it does have some superhero elements, but it's very grounded and very entertaining, funny, heartwarming, all the stuff that you want. And it's only like 6 episodes long. You can burn through it so fast.
Oh, dang.
Dude, you'll love it.
Yeah, I have it. I added it to my list, but I haven't watched it yet. I definitely need to.
It ended, and literally we were both like, that was it? Like,
dang it.
It's only 6 that's all? Like, we want more. We want to keep watching Trevor and his new friend, I don't know if you remember Trevor Slattery. He was the Mandarin in Iron Man 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ben Kingsley plays him.
Ben Kingsley, yeah.
God, he's just a lovable little fool in this movie. So check out Wonder Man. And then recently, I guess tonight, I think today, two more episodes dropped, but I watched the first 2 episodes of Maul, the new Star Wars animated TV show just came out. It's about Darth Maul.
Oh, Maul.
Yep.
Okay, I was thinking like some like teenagers hanging at the mall show. I was like, okay,
the mall. Let's go to the mall
today.
No, Darth Maul. It's a Darth Maul TV show. Okay. So this story, Maul's been kind of done to death,
of course,
but he's been developed into a pretty amazing character, and I already know how his story ends, and it ends pretty perfectly. That happens in the Clone Wars series. I want to say it was Clone Wars. Shoot, I think it was no. Sorry, it was the one with Ezra Bridger. So anyway, this whole series, the idea is based off of what George Lucas actually planned to do with Maul post Episode 1. He had this whole plot line for the sequel trilogies where Maul was kind of going to be the big bad guy of it all, and he kind of takes over the underworld of the Star Wars universe after the Empire has been taken down and there's like this power vacuum. At least that's kind of what I've heard. I don't know the details. I'm not an expert on this. So anyway, Dave Filoni, he's done all of the cartoon stuff. He's like George Lucas version 2,
Yeah.
Works with Lucas a lot on coming up with stories and making these things happen. He wanted to actually use George Lucas's ideas, and so he put together this show, which has only dropped 2 episodes, but it's Maul kind of rising and taking down these mob bosses who betrayed him in some way. I haven't got to the point in how, but the first 2 episodes, he's like starting to return and have revenge on these people that betrayed him.
Dang.
And there's like one comment where he's just like, I'm gonna get back on everybody, including Darth Sidious, you know. So he's like pissed off at
Just
the Emperor.
going.
Last thing, the art style, in
Right.
it, like it looks like watercolors, like hand painted.
Jeez.
I don't think it's actually hand painted, but it's like watercolor art almost on top of the classic Star Wars animation. It just looks beautiful.
That sounds awesome.
I started watching it on my little TV upstairs, and I got like,
You're like, wait.
I got like 5 minutes into it or something, into the credit or the title sequence or whatever. I was like, pause. I'm like, I'm going downstairs and watching this on the big TV. This is gonna be too good. So
I have to.
I gotta go downstairs.
That's awesome, man. Well, very cool. Definitely something that I have on my list that I need to get going on. So I do feel like, just overall, say kind of as a broad kind of blanket statement, I feel like this year, maybe I just am not looking in the right places, but I feel like compared to last year, especially TV-wise, movies maybe, but like TV-wise, I just feel like I'm lacking this year.
Not a
on
lot out there.
anything that like there's not a lot that I'm super excited for that I feel
Mhm.
like is coming out this year, where last year it felt like the whole year almost was like back to back, like really big shows that I was excited for. Like last year had, Severance season 2 and The
So
Last of
much, yeah.
Us and The White Lotus and like
yeah.
just back, like it was crazy all year long. And this year I just haven't felt like that, or just maybe
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the right places.
These days, we usually throw on a movie instead of a TV show. Oh, I got around to watching The Hedge Knight, the new Game of Thrones show.
Oh, House of the Dragon.
No, the other one.
Oh, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
that's
I
the
haven't watched that one yet.
It's great. That's another one you should watch. It's only like 6 or 8 episodes or something.
There you go.
You'll love that
I've
one
got,
too.
Let's see. So I've got Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the one Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Watch Wonder Man first.
Watch Wonder Man first.
And then Night of the
Okay.
Seven Kingdoms is
Yeah.
very charming too. It's a small story, really good.
So I know at the time, because I'll still be on Twitter and everything, and so a lot of that stuff will still pop up. I've heard that there's like one episode especially that just like people were going crazy over. I don't know what happens or
yeah.
anything. Like you probably know, I guess.
I don't know.
but
I'd have to go back and watch.
I think it was like
we
not the finale, but
binged it.
towards the end.
Towards the end.
I guess.
Okay.
So
We
like-
binged it. We watched it in 2 days.
Oh, dang. That's
That's
probably what it's
another
gonna
one
be
that
like
both
for
of us,
me.
that and Wonder Man, were just like, we started at 10 o'clock and
And
it's
you're just
like
like-
all of a sudden midnight. We're like, oh, should we just watch 2 more? I mean, we're almost done. And before you know it, it's like 2 in the morning or something, And we don't do that. Like, we're old. We go to sleep at 10.
Exactly.
And this one kept us up late.
That's good. That's a good sign. So anyway, okay. All right, Vince. So I know that we have a few different kind of like lists and things that we want to do. How do you feel about kind of splitting it up? Maybe we jump into our top 10, and then after we get through like 7, we can do one of our like least favorite movies or something like that. Get through like 4, do another one, and then 3, 2, 1. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Let's do that.
Sounds good. All right. So we're going to go over our top 10 favorite movies of 2025. And this was brought to you by Letterboxd. Not really. It's not brought to you, but Letterboxd. You should sponsor us because I use your app so much and it is incredible and we love it. And for me, it makes this list so easy because I was telling Vince before, I literally just, whenever I see a movie from the previous year, I just have a list that I keep private until we do this episode, where I just go and I rank the movie and then I rank it in the year. And then we come to this end of the year, I might make a few switches based on what I'm feeling,
Adjustments.
but I'm just like, hey, there we go. And then my list is all ready for me. So
Yeah.
we'll
I'm
go ahead and get
hoping
into it.
I'm hoping I can do some of these movies justice in the reasons that I like them, because it's been a little while for
Yeah,
them.
I mean, we're a little late in the game. It's April in 2026, so it's already been a bit. Oscars have come and gone, so it's that's how it goes sometimes. So I know you said you have your list. Do you have any honorable mentions, any ones that didn't quite make it that you wanted to throw out there?
Probably not off the top of my head. Maybe like one that I think everyone will be like, "What the heck is wrong with him?" But I actually really enjoyed the Jurassic Park movie this year.
Oh, really?
I
Oh,
did.
awesome.
I was
There
actually
you go.
I was actually talking earlier about it. Like, I don't think I've talked to another person on this planet that actually liked it, but I didn't really love the story, but I love some dinosaurs killing some people. So
Sometimes that's all you need, man.
maybe other than that, really enjoyed The Smashing Machine.
Nice.
I'm vocally not a Dwayne Johnson fan, and he was fantastic in that movie. So I got to give him his flowers because he does more stuff like that. He might change my opinion on him. He was great in it. I really liked that movie. And then I think other than that, I think the rest of them I'll probably cover as we go through here.
Nice. Hey, that sounds good. I think I have a few that I want to, especially because this year I feel like was a bit weird where I did really like a lot of movies that came out this year, but I also don't know, like, even though we'll get to the ones that I love the most, there weren't any I think that, like, I'll just go out and say it because, you know, you might know, but also it's like over a year. I didn't have any movies that came out in 2025 that I rated 5 stars on Letterboxd, which I think is the first time in a while that like that's been the case, which I thought was pretty surprising.
Actually,
you didn't, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it necessarily was a bad year. Like I still loved. I had a lot of movies at 4.5, but just didn't have any that I thought like were right there at the top. But like also my entire list pretty much I think consists of like 4 or 4.5 stars, and there's a ton that were like 4 stars still that just missed out on my list that I feel bad that they're not on there because there were still a lot of really good movies. But just ones where I was like, oh, didn't quite make it. So yeah, so some of the ones that just missed the cut for me were No Other Choice. I don't know if you saw that one. It was the Korean one with what's his name? Lee Byung-hun is what it says from he's in Squid Game and some other stuff. Which was really, really good and kind of like a funny commentary on where the world is going and the workforce and just finding a job and stuff like that. But also it's like a dark comedy kind of in the best way. It was really good. Frankenstein, Mickey 17 didn't end up making it for me, which I was sad about, but it was right there. But I did like that one by Bong Joon-ho. Thunderbolts, and then I'll throw on like Wake Up Dead Man and Eddington also didn't quite make it, but were also movies that I enjoyed thoroughly that we watched. So, all right. Are you ready to get into it? You want to give me your number 10 first, Vince?
Yep. I will just start off saying like you'll probably be able to talk about some of those movies a little bit later.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so some of these they could probably fluctuate in where I have them listed, but my first one that I have on here is for my number 10 is 28 Years Later.
Nice.
This movie, I went and saw it with my dad. He hated it.
I can see that.
He didn't straight out tell me that after the movie ended. He was more like, it was really artsy, I think is kind of what he said. I'm like, yeah, it was. It was like very like different from a classic zombie movie. He's like, yeah. And then like the last time I saw last week, and I was like, the new one just dropped on Netflix a little while ago. Do you want to see the next? It's called The Bone Temple. It's like the sequel to that zombie movie I took you to. He's like, no. Like, I'm not watching that. But I loved it. It feels gritty. It feels like kind of like a low budget kind of, what do they call that, guerrilla filmmaking almost, kind of has like callback to those, like you just have a camera but they do some really creative stuff like with their slow motion zombie killings, where that's kind of what got my dad to come up and watch it because I showed him the making of those
with the iPhone
stuff, and he's like, well, I want to see that.
So cool.
But there's moments in that movie that just like stand out in my mind, like the giant zombie running across the water with the view
Aurora
of the
Borealis,
sky, just shining in the background, and then how beautiful the bone temple actually was at the end, and the message about like death and acceptance and all that kind of stuff that came with the movie that I just did not see coming. It surprised me, in the message that it was telling was more touching than I ever expected it to be. So I haven't gotten around to the sequel yet to Bone Temple, but it's high up on my list to watch when I find some time.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see what you think of it because there's also a lot of very different kind of. It also kind of gets off what you probably think from like a normal zombie movie, but in a very different way, I guess, than the first one. So I'll be excited to see what you think of it. And there's also some other crazy scenes that I feel like this can't be a spoiler because it's a name that happened in the Bone Temple. That'll be like, you'll be like, what the heck? Like that are really good. So I'll be excited to see what you think of it. Very cool. Yeah, and I saw, I'm friends with Casey on a social media app called Be Real, and I saw he was watching the Bone Temple actually the last couple of days while he's doing his workout. So I'll have to hit him up and see what he thought. But okay, my number 10. I'm sad that this one was even this low, but this was one of, you know what? I'm actually making a change on the fly right now because I saw
Okay.
this and I said, this movie can't be this low. So dropping to number 10, which not bad, still really liked. Dropping to number 10 is Marty Supreme.
10 that low.
10 that low. I just loved so many of these movies this year, which don't get me wrong, Marty Supreme was incredible, right? It was so fast paced. I think that Timothy Chalamet did a great job. I know he's catching a lot of flack right now for a lot of stuff, and I don't think that that's, bad, but just like he also did an incredible job. I think that this script is so fast paced. I do love like pretty much anything that like either one of the Safdie brothers does. And so this just like was a really good time for the incredible Oscars party that Vince hosted this year. He told us to come either dressed up like we're going to the Oscars or as one of the characters, and I came dressed up as Marty Supreme.
Nailed it.
Himself, and it just was such a good time. Just this whole chaotic storyline of never stopping felt very, very much like Uncut Gems, and just its anxiety-ridden sort of ride that you never knew where it was going to go start to finish. So Marty Supreme, even though I just now dropped it to number 10, is still an incredible movie and one that I really enjoyed this year.
Okay. Do you want to?
No,
Okay.
because I don't want to. All right. 28 years later is going to be on my list later, but I just
Okay,
had
we'll
some
just
thoughts
do
I
it.
wanted to reserve for
Okay.
it. So I'll keep them. I'll keep them brief when we get to it, but just
Okay.
I like to
Okay.
keep it a surprise. I
Yeah.
guess.
All right, cool. Okay, so my number 9, we just going back and forth, I assume?
Yeah, let's
Assume?
do it.
Okay, my number 9 was Eddington.
Nice.
I feel like it summed up very well the craziness of the 2020 to 2022 years of our lives, the COVID frigging chaos that went down. Joaquin is amazing in it. He's so good. It took
So good.
turns that I did not expect it to take. It's this just like satire that points out our hypocrisy as a nation, as a people, the way we reacted to this thing. It just does so much work. Some people said that it came out too soon. I don't think it matters. I hope
This
that
movie
people will
continues to age well.
yeah, I hope people will receive it better once time kind of passes and they are ready to revisit that time in their lives with a different perspective and go into it like with an understanding that like they aren't attacking any person's belief in this. They're just pretty much pointing out the facts of what happened and how people are kind of crazy, and when we are scared, people do crazy things. So I loved
That's-
Eddington. It was so good, and it doesn't help that Ari Aster is like one of my favorite directors. He does some weird stuff, but he's taking swings.
We went and saw Beau is Afraid together.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy.
I was gonna say like Joaquin Phoenix, he is crazy. I was like, this might be his weird. Nope, that's not true. No,
There's always
this
Beau
one
is afraid.
I do. Oh, dude, that movie was insane. I do love kind of like what you mentioned about Eddington, and it did make my list in top 10, but I did like it a lot, and I do think I'll continue. Like this is a movie I'd want to watch again and just be like, wow,
Yeah,
this
me
is
too.
crazy. Of like how polarizing these views are, and like you said, it wasn't just attacking like one belief. It was just like showing like this is how it was, guys. Like whether you like it or not, and there's going to be things about both these characters, and obviously like both of a lot of like the political sides or this or that, they're going to be like, this is insane, but on both sides. And that's the thing is like, you
Yeah.
got to realize like how insane and crazy that time was. And
It
then
was
when you
kinda
look
fun.
at it from a post
Yeah.
COVID view, that you're just like, what the heck
Yeah.
happened, man?
It was really fun. I remember like sitting there watching it and thinking like, oh, he's got the COVID checklist here of everything that happened. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. I remember these things going on in those 2 years.
Yep.
And just kind of like expecting it as it comes, as the movie progresses, like we lived through it. We know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great movie. Incredible. All right. My number 9 that I bumped up from number 10 just because I've loved it. And I've actually watched this movie, I want to say maybe just one time since, but I think maybe twice because I watched it with some friends. So since the first time I watched it, my number 9 movie is Companion. Companion. Did you ever watch that one with Sophie Thatcher?
I don't think so. Oh, and
And a Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. No,
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. I
All
want to
right.
so bad.
I will keep it spoiler free, but Companion, I saw it right now at number 10, and I said, no, this is my number 9, which even though might seem low, this movie was incredible. And I will keep it spoiler free because really the less you can know about this going into it is going to be the better. Like, I feel like the marketing campaign for this movie can kind of like how we said with What's Inside, sometimes you feel like they spoil too much, and they sort of have to, I guess, to try and hook people on the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So that's why I'd say
I was really
just watch
disappointed to
it.
find out, like, to see that trailer and be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
that would have been fun to know.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Not to know.
Yeah, but just like so that like kind of happens, but at the same time, this movie still just takes you for a wild ride. Sophie Thatcher, she does incredible work. Heretic, I don't remember where it was, but it ended up on my top 10 of last year as well. An incredible movie, and she just is doing awesome work. Jack Quaid is funny. It's just like a fun, new sort of like it goes in that like good for her genre of sort of like horror thriller movies, but just in like the funniest way and kind of just really original way possible. And that's all I'll kind of say about it to keep it spoiler free, but Companion is definitely worth checking out.
Cool. Yep.
Okay,
Okay, number 8.
let's do it.
You a Naked Gun fan?
I still need to. I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, you haven't seen the
Crazy,
wait,
right?
any Naked
Not
Guns
any
ever?
of the old ones or the new
Oh
ones.
man, if we were still doing this like consistently, we would do a whole Naked Gun episode. We might be doing a whole Naked Gun episode.
That might be
We
the
could watch
excuse.
1, 2, like all 3 of them, 1, 2, and then the new one that just came out. Because these movies are like core childhood for me.
Mhm.
Naked Gun 1, and I think that the second one's called like Naked Gun 2.5 or 2 1/3 or something. It's got some funny name, you know. But Leslie Nielsen was a constant. I don't know if constant's the right word. He was in our household a lot. His
Mhm.
movies, his comedies, his
Yeah.
style of humor is my dad. Speaking of my dad again,
Yeah.
he's right up my dad's alley. And these movies are were my favorite. My dad's favorites. Top Secret, the Naked Gun series, like
Mhm.
these just like stupid comedies that are kind of like 12-year-old humors that
Yeah.
the humor of a 12-year-old, where it's just like the dumbest jokes, but they just hit so hard for some reason. They nailed this movie. Like, it was perfect. Exactly what I want it to be. The casting was fantastic. The jokes were hilarious. It's freaking quotable. Like, there's a part in the movie where someone gets punched in the gut. He's like, he hit me in the soft part of my tummy. And I can't stop laughing at that still to this day. Like, still I quote that. You hit me in the soft spot of my tummy. It's so funny, man. So Naked Gun is one you should bump up when you just want to have a good time. You just want to turn your brain off and just laugh. Like, it's perfect for that. Like, they literally recreated the spirit of the old Naked Gun movies, in my opinion. So check that one out if you haven't.
So as a
since you
fan
haven't
of all of them, I know that like it's not necessary. Like it's just like kind of a revival of it. So does it matter? Do I have
No,
to watch the other ones first and then watch these ones? Is there
It's-
anything to appreciate with that, or
Yeah.
can it be really just like, oh, just watch
you can
whatever
still
you
watch
can?
it and enjoy it, but it is a legacy sequel. That's what they call them,
Yeah.
right? So like the 2 other movies are canon, but Leslie Nielsen, R.I.P.,
Mhm.
has passed away. But they still do have some jokes that reference the
Mhm.
past movies and reference him in the past. I mean, there's one in the trailer, so
Yeah.
like it will kind of those few jokes that kind of have them in there will make you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
What's the main actor's name? I can't.
Liam
think of his-
Neeson.
Liam Neeson plays Frank Trevin's son.
Oh, okay.
So like they are related, and you know, you should probably see the first 2. You know, now that I think about it, I think it will like. You don't have to, but I think it will just give you a little more context to some of the jokes that you can appreciate more. So, and they're
Alright.
funny, man. They hold up. I'm sure they hold up to this
Oh,
day.
I'm sure.
So,
Okay. My number 8, incredible movie, one that had me in my feels. Great message, great story. Eternity. Eternity was an incredible movie. It was an A24 movie, starring Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller and them about, you know, the eternity. Like essentially just the premise of the movie is you get to pick your eternity when you get to the afterlife, right? And Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller are this, they in the afterlife they show up as like their current age more so, right? But like in real life they had, grown old together as this couple, right? And so they die around the same time, so they get to this place where they're supposed to choose their eternity and their afterlife, and she finds her, like, this is like all in the trailer, so not spoilers, but she finds her her first husband who died serving in the war, who was like the love of her life or whatever, but who died super young. And so then it's like she kind of has to pick one of them to be with for forever and whatnot. And this back and forth dynamic of your first true love and everything versus like the person you grow old with, which, obviously for everyone it'll be different. They could be the same person or not, but just like this whole dynamic and just this idea of what's important for it kind of leaves it very open-ended of like, yes, it's talking about eternity, but it's kind of just talking about like your life, like what's going to be important as you grow old and stuff like that, like what's going to be like the most important things there. And it's just really introspective, and there's just like kind of a lot to, like I said, it's like a movie that really got me in my feels, and it's hilarious. Like it's so funny too, right? Like it's a really good time. They do a lot of good jokes. Devine Joy Randolph is in it she was in The Holdovers, right? The movie she won the Oscar for. She was in it, and she was hilarious as well. It's like one of the people who kind of help out, I guess, or whatnot. So she's in it pretty much. It's really funny, a really good time. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Not Companion, Eternity was my number 8.
Yeah, that'll be a good date night one.
For sure.
It was going to be for us, and then we never got around to it.
I think it's on Apple TV.
Ah, so. Perfect.
There you go.
Okay, number 7.
Okay.
Still going down on these? Still going down the list here?
What?
Okay.
Yeah, it's number 7, and then we'll break for one of our little mini lists.
All right, well, this is a good one for me to. All right. This movie had no reason to be as good as it was. Did you see Predator Badlands? Predator Badlands?
I have not. It is on my list.
Dude. Maybe come over, we'll watch it on the big screen here, because it deserves a big screen experience.
Jaleesa just doesn't want to watch it, and I just haven't had as many nights that she's not around, and so she doesn't want to watch it. So I was watching something else, so I haven't got to it yet.
If you want to have a good time, just a big action movie, this movie was great. It was so good. It's creative. The world building that they have for the Predator franchise, for the Predator species, I don't remember the name that they actually have of them. They're just evolving this movie franchise in a way that surprises me, because it started off as like this little action movie where the Predator was just kind of this, not a side note, but it wasn't the first threat of the movie. It was started as a war movie.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of progressed into this thing where it's like the Predator that fights Arnold Schwarzenegger, if he is able, if we're going by the logic of this new movie and the cartoon that just came out, then Arnold wouldn't stand a chance against humans. Would not stand a chance against these predators, because they are like super powered, super strength, super just like superheroes. Like they're just, they can jump far distances and they can like cut things in half. They're like super strong. And I don't care. The inconsistency doesn't matter. It was so much fun. Like my 12-year-old self was just so happy watching this. It's a really cool action sequence. They have, or a really cool action movie. They have some great action sequences in it. Elle Fanning as a synthetic, a robot in it. She does fantastic in it. It's kind of this, I guess you could say it's kind of a wolf and cub storyline where it's she's not a child, but she's this optimistic robot that gets paired with this,
right.
She loses her legs or whatever, so she gets paired with this like battle-hardened protector who drags her around, and she just wants to get back to her family or whatever, and he wants to prove himself. He's like the runt of the litter when it comes to predators, and he wants to prove himself by killing the most dangerous game that he can find.
Right.
And they're forced to kind of like work together, and it ends in a cliffhanger where they can definitely, where they are definitely, you can tell they're going to expand this universe. But But and it's a good time. And after the last Predator movie that they came out with a few years back, it was directed by Shane Black. I think it was just called Predator. Um, I think it was, or maybe it was called The Predator. I don't remember. Came out a little while back. It was bad. It was bad, and they were taking it in a direction that I was just like, I'm gonna check out on this franchise, and it sucks for.
Was
it
that
sucks
after
'cause
Prey or before Prey?
It was. Oh yeah, sorry, it was before Prey. It was the one right before Prey.
'Cause I
I
liked-
forgot about that one.
I
Prey was
loved
great.
Prey. Yeah.
And that Prey fits in perfect for this franchise too, or in this continuity. So yeah, I just love where they're going with the Predator franchise.
I need to check it out because I loved Prey. Like Prey, I think was one of the ones that ended up on my top like 3 or 4 of 2023 or 2024, whenever it came out. I love, as someone who's kind of the opposite of you. I know I mentioned this before of like coming in late to the Predator franchise. I'm pretty sure that we did one of the Predator movies on the podcast a while ago, and it was one of the newer-ish ones.
Yeah, I think you saw Predators.
Predators,
I think
right?
that's the
Where
one I
they're
made
like
you do, 'cause
the
that was
people all
one
on
of
the
my
planet
favorites.
and whatnot. Yeah, which was good, and I liked it, and that got me into it. And then I actually went back because I hadn't seen any of the original, Predator movies as a kid, so I watched those, and we watched Prey and stuff like that. Like, as someone who's late to the franchise but who still really likes it, like I'm kind of late to a lot of those big ones. Like, I also, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, also like got into like the Alien franchise and watched like all of those and got up to speed with everything and watched Alien Earth and whatnot when it came out. But just like, I also love it, and I love this like expansion of this world. And it's so weird because, like you said, it's very different, but it also feels like a similar direction, kind of like Prey. It's like where they are expanding it, but in very different ways, where Prey is still very much human centered, but like the beast, the Predator is kind of such a big part of it, and you can tell kind of what's going on, where this one is more centered around the Predator and that story. But I just like that they're growing it kind of from every side, it seems like, in a cool way, and that they're still like, they're doing it in the best way possible for this franchise. Because you probably have some people who don't like that it strayed so far from the original, but I still think that like for what's best for the franchise, this is the best you can do, the best thing you could do.
Yeah,
probably.
you can only do
saying that without having seen Predator Badlands. Yes.
Yeah, you can only do that same formula so many times before people are going to get bored with it. And it was nice having Prey go back to that after so long without like a good Predator movie. But yeah, this one's following kind of I guess what they've done with the comics. They're just kind of broadening what's possible in the franchise, and I'm okay with it.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. I'll hit my number 7 pretty quick. My number 7, the Oscar winner itself, One Battle After Another.
That's that low too.
It might be low. I look at the top of my list and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. So let's just say 5 of the top 6 in my list might be all of a fairly similar genre that I like and enjoy very much.
Okay.
One Battle After Another, I still loved. I thought it was incredible. I think we're to the point, maybe not. I think the rest of these movies are like ones that I put like 4.5 on Letterboxd, which is like my, not perfect or not like that 5-star level, but like really, really good. And One Battle After Another was one of those that just like, I do love Paul Thomas Anderson, and I think that he does a great job with all his stuff. This movie was hilarious. I love Benicio del Toro. I think he's so funny in this. I think he does such a great job. And I love a newcomer. What's her name? Chase Infinity, who played Willa, right? Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter. I thought that she did an excellent job, and she's also kind of breaking out and getting her own stuff. She's in like the prequel Handmaid's Tale show that they have that just came out on Netflix. Yeah, so she's kind of like, yeah, that one. So so she's in that. But yeah, this movie I thought was just great all around, a really good time. So funny how just like a rolling up and down the the roads and out in the middle of nowhere in the United States could feel like so action packed and also weirdly nostalgic. I'm like, I did this a lot as a kid, just like going from place to place, like out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, it was really tense. It was really cool. And just like kind of all over the place and just like unhinged and crazy. Sean Penn, what the heck is up with that guy?
Oscar.
Oh, dude, he was
so good.
He was so good, man. So yeah, One Battle After Another was my number 7. All right, Vince, we'll take a quick break and to do the one of your other lists.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you want to do your least favorite movie of the year, or do you want to do your biggest letdown of the year?
Let's do biggest letdown of the
'Kay.
year. Let's do that just because least favorite has been a staple that we've always done. So we'll do the newer one first.
I'll let you go first. What's your biggest disappointment? So basically, it's the movie you were looking, like, really, really looking forward to, super excited to see it. You actually got to it, and you were just like, oh, well, that wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So this one, I mean, I don't know if I'd put it like to that level of like, I thought this was going to be crazy, but most of the ones I thought were going to be pretty good, I think were at least like decent. Where this one, I was still really looking forward to it. And especially when it first came out, it was just like, oh, all-star cast. This is going to be incredible. Really, really good. And it bombed, and it was not good. And that is Opus.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Did you see Opus?
No, but I really wanted to.
That's the thing. So I love Iowa Debris, right? I think that she's incredible,
Yeah,
and
she
I
is.
love The Bear. I think she's really good. It's got, John Malkovich, and it's got a lot of other people who just, when I saw the like the trailer for it and just like the idea and kind of weird horror thriller kind of theme behind it, I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. This is going to be great. This is going to be perfect. And then the reviews were not great, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then watched it, and it just was hard to follow. It wasn't great. The story was all over the place, and it tried to like act like it was smart and twist and stuff like that, and it just was not for me. Like looking at kind of like reviews and stuff, I feel like that's a pretty general consensus feeling. I'm sure there are still some people who ended up liking it a lot, but yeah, that was one where, especially seeing like Ayo Debris leading a film like that, kind of horror thriller, I think is like a good area where she can be and do really well. But just this one was not it. Not great writing.
Okay.
That was probably my biggest letdown of the year for sure. Was Opus.
That's a bummer because that one looked great. I loved the trailers for it.
That's the thing. Who knows? Maybe you'll watch it and be like, you know what? You are wrong. So.
Okay, mine was a tie. They are the same genre.
Okay.
One was a little bit more of a letdown than the other, but we're gonna wrap around back to the comic book movies.
Okay.
Both the DC and Marvel movies let me down this year a little bit. Didn't hate either of them. Didn't love either of them. But Fantastic Four by Marvel and Superman.
Okay.
I think Superman I liked.
I did too.
Because I was so hyped for it, when I actually saw it, the first trailer that they dropped for Superman captured something in me that was just like the nostalgia, the hope of, bringing a Superman back and doing this like really good representation of the character. I had so much hope for it. Like that first trailer, when I first watched it, gave me chills,
James
dude.
Gunn, Superman movie, just
playing that original score, just like, oh, hype, man. I bring a tear to your eye kind of a thing, So I was so excited for it. So excited for it. Saw it, really liked it, but felt like it was just another kind of comic book movie. Like, didn't really feel like it elevated anything. Didn't really feel like it wowed me. Kind of leaned into the CGI, that whole like extra dimensional rift sequence where he's just kind of like running around on CGI screens. What didn't really enthrall me. I thought it was going to be like this moment, kind of like it felt like it was going to be this moment in comic book movies where it's like, okay, we're turning over a new page with the DC universe and we're going to do something that like, I don't know how to what to compare it to. Like Star Wars is kind of the same thing. Star Wars used to, when they dropped a movie, like it had a feeling like this is an event. This is going to be amazing. This is going to change everything, and doesn't really do that anymore. And I thought that Superman was going to bring that feeling back for me. And so walking out thinking like, well, that was good, but it's just kind of another one of the comic book movies. Maybe that just is because we've had so many of them at this point that it's hard to do anything that like really stands out. But going back and watching it a second time, it's a fantastic movie. It's a great time. I love the actor that they got for Superman. He's fantastic. I love that James Gunn pulls these B-list superheroes that I've never heard of before and makes them cool, and I learn a little bit about them. So I think it's a good kickoff to the DC universe, and I really look forward to seeing what he does with with the rest of the franchise, the IP. Supergirl looks great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be another kind of John Wick, girl getting revenge for the guy who attacks her dog. So let's do this.
Yep.
And then I kind of felt the same way about Fantastic Four. They came out the same time period, and people were
I
talking
haven't
like,
seen it still.
you haven't seen it yet?
Yeah, crazy.
It's not bad, but it's not great. It's not. It feels like Marvel for the past 5 years or post Endgame. It just everything Marvel except for Wonder Man has just kind of been like come and gone, you know. And Fantastic Four again felt like it was going to be a moment, a turning point in the Marvel franchise when we're going to introduce the Fantastic Four, and from here on out we're going to like take our time. We're really going to do some cool stuff. It had some cool moments in it. I really like Cousin from The Bear as the Thing, and I really like how he looks in the movie, but I didn't really like the way it was cut. It had some great memes that came out afterwards. They were really entertaining. Like,
I saw those.
like comparing Galactus to Fat Bastard. I want your baby. Those kind of things. But overall, it was pretty forgettable for me. So Marvel still has a lot of work to do to bounce back to I think they can. I'm really excited for the Avengers movies that are coming out, but they still got a lot of work to return to what they once were. And I really hope that since Fantastic Four didn't do it, that whatever they do with the next Avengers movies can really like stoke my hype for the franchise again.
Yep.
So
So let me throw this one at your way then. If that was one of the ones where you also were like, kind of just the same, like a letdown of something you were hopefully was going to be good and looking forward to, and I'm probably forgetting some other one because I think I also haven't seen Captain America: Brave New World, which also came out last year. But so I guess you can include that one if you did see it too. But out of Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts last year, which one would you say you liked more?
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Well, I didn't see Fantastic Four, but
Yeah.
I did. I think I mentioned in my honorable mentions where I still really liked Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
That was really good, but still also just like I think I liked Thunderbolts more than I've liked a Marvel movie in a while, but still kind of just down that same thread, down that same line of it still just being Marvel. So
kind of Marvel being Marvel.
Marvel being Marvel, but I love David Harbour, I love Florence Pugh, so it was good. I really liked it. Nice. Okay, those were our biggest letdowns of the year. We've got Superman and the Fantastic Four from Vince and Opus from Josh. And we'll move on to the rest of our top 10. Okay, my top 10 is going to sound really familiar, and it's going to be a lot of movies that I probably watched towards, September, October, or something like that.
Get into the Oscar stuff.
Some of the Oscars, not so much.
You already had one battle after another, and Marty Supreme. So.
Exactly. So some of them are, some of them aren't. But this one actually is kind of a little bit more out there, I'd say. But also, it got a lot bigger release than it initially was supposed to. So this movie was actually one that was a little indie horror movie, pun intended, that you might understand if you've seen this movie. That ended up coming out it got a wider release afterwards, after some of its initial trailers and stuff kind of went viral, and people wanted it to get a wider release. So my number 6 is Good Boy.
Oh.
Did you see it?
Oh, what? I didn't know you did either.
I did. So the reason that thing I said before was a pun is because the dog's name is Indy.
Oh, okay.
That's in the movie. And it's funny because I have a friend who we chat and we keep up. He was one of the ones who I went and saw Project Hail Mary with when I went and saw the second time. He ended up going in and seeing it as well after, because he asked me, he was like, I was interested in that. Like, should I go see it? And I was like, yeah, I think it was good. He went and saw it, and he was like, dude, you don't understand how much this traumatized me. And he was like, and I was like, why? He's like, why do you think? And I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, because it's like horror movie, like where this dog is like the focal point, right? His dog's
from his perspective.
It's from his perspective, exactly. Like yeah, the human is talking one out, but it's completely like you're inside the dog's head. You're seeing what it's seeing. You're thinking what it's thinking. You're following it around as it sees what it sees, and all of the, I think a big part, like one of the taglines I think they use the movie, it's like, what if what your dog sees like in the dark in the corner like is really there or something like that, So it's like, and it was a freaky movie, and there was kind of like more depth to it than I thought, and it was really like this movie was filmed over a few years. And they had some sequences where they brought in some people for some help and whatnot, but it was essentially just these two filmmakers, a husband and a wife, who filmed at their own home with their own dog for most of this, where they were just using their own dog and they were setting up all these scenes or whatnot. And it's funny because you're like, oh man, it's this horror movie starring this dog and all these creepy things or whatnot. But it's especially cool to see in theaters because like right after the credits rolled, they did like a behind the scenes type deal. And they were like, look at this shot. And it's like one of the scariest shots of the movie where the dog is just looking terrified. And it's just like, I forget what they call it, but just like that kind of same sort of feeling where it's like just based on the mood, lighting, and music. They're like, oh, that makes you think that the dog looks scared right now. And they're like, here's the actual behind the scenes, and the lighting wasn't as dark. And they were actually just like the one of the dog's odors or whatever was like doing funny faces or something crazy behind the camera. And the dog was just like, what the heck? Like looking really weird. But just because of the lighting and like the music and stuff, they were like, oh, the dog looks terrified. So they did an incredible job with it. I thought this movie was really, really good. And even though it didn't like blow up, like it was supposedly just going to be an indie release that got a wider release and was released in most of the nations or most of the theaters across the country, like big ones. So I was really happy to go see it. It was a really fun, spooky time for spooky season. So yeah, Good Boy was my number
That's
6.
a fun one. All right, my number 6 is also a spooky.
Yes, hit it.
I bet you it's higher up on your list though.
Probably.
I got Weapons as my number 6.
Nice.
Finally got around to seeing it. I loved the story structure, going from character to character, having each one of the characters in the movie to be the star of their section of the movie was fantastic, and they kept going to characters that I didn't expect it. Like I didn't know they were going to do that at all. Like I didn't know that's how they made the movie, and so it was very interesting to see a horror movie cut up like that. And I really liked the way that they kept the mystery going for a very, very long time. I really wish I would have saw it earlier because I didn't know a specific character. Like I knew a specific character was in this movie without going into spoilers. So I was kind of just waiting for her to show up, you know? I didn't know exactly what role she played in it. But I was like kind of waiting for her to show up, and she didn't let down. She was entertaining. Are we going into spoilers for this thing?
A little bit. I'd say a little bit.
Okay, a little bit spoilers for
if
this
you don't
movie.
want spoilers for Weapon, skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah. So Gladys shows up. Aunt Gladys knew she was in it because I just kept seeing her around the internet. I was like, what is this clown lady? Like, how is she gonna play a role in this? But I had no idea what the big like horror of the movie was. So getting towards the end and learning what was actually going on was kind of like, oh, that's what they're doing with this, like it was like surprising. But I loved the twists and turns. I loved the crackhead in the movie. I thought he was like one of my favorite parts in it. I thought he did such a good job playing his role.
I think I've heard, so this is Zach Krager who did this movie, right? Who directed Barbarian. And I think that I heard that his next feature movie that he's doing, Austin Abrams, who's the guy who plays the crackhead, is like the main role.
He is going to be. Oh, that's cool. I want to see what
I think that's what I heard.
He's also in Euphoria. That's how I knew him. I had to look him up afterwards. I'm like, who is this guy?
I'll have to look for him. Jaleesa and I, the new season started
like this
yesterday.
Week, right?
Yeah, like that. We have not watched any Euphoria, so we started season 1.
You're in for a ride.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, we've put it off for a long time, and I'm like,
I watched that, and I was like, I have lost all faith in humanity. I have lost all faith in the next generation.
That's kind of where we're at. So,
but it's good. That being said, it's shot really well, and it sucks you in.
Just the first, because I've only seen the first episode, but just the cinematography already. I'm like, they did like a whole, like, I know this is old news, but they did a whole Inception sequence.
Yeah.
When she's on drugs. And exactly.
So
the
good.
first episode, and that was just one of the shots where I was like, what the heck?
Dude, it's a disturbing yet incredible TV show.
Exactly.
So buckle up. You're in for a ride. Anyway, yeah, so back to Weapons, though. It was fun. It was really good. It lived up to my expectations. So horror continues to be a franchise that I absolutely love, and I love that people are coming in and they're doing different things with it. you know, kind of keeping us on our toes instead of just doing the same generic kind of thing over and over again. People like Zach Kreger, you said his name is.
Yep.
They know how to
Spice it up.
you can tell they love horror and they know how to like change it up a little bit and make it unique. And he definitely did that with Weapons.
That's what I love. Them keeping it new and fresh. And
Mhm.
I loved Barbarian. I loved Weapons. So yeah, I think my like letterbox review for this, like I had a whole thing, but the first thing was like Zach Kreger might be the guy, man.
Yeah.
Like I love him and everything he's doing. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Something else about what you mentioned, but cool. All right, number
Is that
five.
Number 5?
Number 5, a movie that you touched on a little bit earlier that I loved, and it is 28 years later.
Yeah.
Man, I loved.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
think you
called
said-
it 28 years, right? I didn't
Yeah.
say days. Okay,
no,
good.
you said years. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, dude, I loved 28 Years Later was one of those like movies that shocked me in the cinema that I was just not ready for. Like you said, like the themes that it touches on with kind of everything. You know, that I'll probably spoilers a bit for I guess 28 Years Later just because I've got to talk about it. Just the whole, like you said, themes toward the end, Memento Mori, Memento Amoris, him with his mom and everything like that. Just this insanely, like I know that it seems like a genre that would be overplayed, but it felt so original of this like incredibly human story amidst, you know, the zombie apocalypse, which we're used to at this point, but this one felt so unique, right? Just this very like, oh my gosh, like the zombie apocalypse is happening. Everyone's struggling to survive. They've built this island where they survive. And it's, you know, the third in this installment of like all of these movies. And it's like, while all of that's happening, people still get cancer, man. Like, and that's going to completely tear up your world. You might have the safest place in the entire world. It's not going to protect you from everything. And that's still its own crushing, excruciating experience. And yeah, I just thought, especially just that scene in the Bone Temple towards the end when it's night, it just got me, man. I cried in the theater, like, and you know, I'm known to cry at a movie or two, and I'm not ashamed of it. But that was one that I did not see coming. Just that whole final sequence, and I've seen people have a lot of mixed reviews about this movie, especially because, and even that part, especially because they're like, what, like this is not where I thought this was going, and sometimes good, sometimes bad, I guess. But like that entire sequence brought me to tears. It just was so beautiful, and I think that, and I'll be interested to see what you think of the Bone Temple because it has more of Ralph Fiennes, right? But I just thought that he is in this weird, great role here in like kind of a weird little niche that I think fits him perfectly, and so I think he did an incredible job. The kid Spike, I forget his name. Alfie Williams, I thought did a fantastic job as well. Really, really good. Especially for a child actor. I think that he did incredible. Not the best child actor performance of the year. Get to that one in a second. But I thought that he did a great job. And yeah, Jodie Comer, everyone was great in this movie, but just especially what they got to towards the end where I was not expecting it. The horror elements too, I really loved. The zombie kill shots that they did with the iPhones and everything, just a very cool original idea. Kept you on your toes, kept you guessing, was still a horror thrill ride that was very touching for me and got me very emotional. So 28 Years Later was my number 5, and all of these I'm sad, I guess, that they're not higher, but that was just one that I loved this year.
Yeah.
Caught me by surprise, went to the cinema not expecting to fall in love with a movie like that. Exactly. I went to go see the zombie movie and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That always happens with me. It's just been a tradition. I'll go watch some movie, and it's always because I usually go see movies at this one movie theater that's over here, kind of to the north of us. But every once in a while, I'll go to one that's kind of just in the mall a little bit to the north of us. But I don't go to that one as often. But it's this weird tradition, like the last 2 or 3 years in a row, in January, I'll go see a movie at that theater that I'm not expecting to, and I'll walk out crying my eyes out. This year was 28 Years Later. The year before, it was The Iron Claw. I went in January, went and watched that movie, came out crying. So, hey, man, 28 Years Later was incredible, and I was glad, even if it was 10, I was glad it was on your list, because I have some other friends who did not think it was as good. So,
obviously, so did I. My father doesn't have taste. I'm just kidding.
I'm talking to you, Cade.
All right. Number 5. I had to bite my tongue for a second there. My number 5 is Thunderbolts.
Oh,
I freaking love
nice.
Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Loved Thunderbolts.
Sweet. I'm glad.
I understand why you say it was kind of a classic Marvel, but I feel like they did things different than they've been doing a little bit more in this one compared to all the like post Endgame stuff. I loved the focus on mental health with this one, and I loved that the big bad at the end, the way that they ended up having to beat him was not who can punch harder. It was a conversation, and basically therapy was the answer to help the bad guy of the movie calm down and like work through his demons. The Sentry, I think, is his name, right?
Mhm.
I don't
Sentry
think
Bob.
Bob, yeah, Bob. What a freaking awesome name! Like he just kind of cruises around and is just like, yeah. He's the Superman of the Marvel universe, and his biggest weakness is his mental health. You know, like what an interesting character. I hope we get way more of that. I think David Harbour's hilarious as Red Guardian. He freaking cracks me up, and Florence Pugh is just an incredible actor. She's been doing great things with Yelena. I really liked that they brought back some of these just like B-list side characters from the past movies, like Ghost.
Who deserve more.
Yeah, I always thought she was really cool. She's like kind of the stronger element of the Ant-Man 2. And so bringing her back was really interesting. The little twist of killing off one of the characters right in the middle of the thing, I was okay with that because I didn't really love that interpretation of the character, and it was just kind of like
It was crazy though, because like they were in all of the marketing.
Yeah, you did not see that coming. It was just like, wait, what? So I was just like, I think this one was the opposite of my biggest letdown. It was probably my biggest surprise of liking it way more than I ever thought that I would. I thought I was going to walk up and be like, I mean, especially because the other Captain America movie was like pretty shortly before that one.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was just so like forgettable that I didn't have a lot of hope for it.
Yeah.
And walked out like, that was a fantastic movie. I would watch that again. I like lower stakes, not super powered hero stories.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Suicide Squad. I mean, this is like kind of the Suicide Squad of the of the Marvel universe, you know. So give me those heroes that are a little bit more based in reality and dealing with their own smaller issues, and doing something different, like talking about depression, like just very, just something that I didn't think was going to be in a superhero movie, and they came in here and they pulled it off in a really good way. So Thunderbolts was great in my opinion. It was probably one of the better Marvel movies post Endgame.
I agree. And it didn't make my list, but yeah, I also agree, and I love that. And like you said, they walked that line really well, where it's like the superhero movie, so it needs to appeal to the masses, but having it talk about a very sensitive subject, they really do walk that line in a smart way where they get the message across, but they also have very emotional performances. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think casting in the past has done them well, and bringing Florence Pugh and David Harbour together is incredible, because both of them are and can be hilarious, and they're so good, but they are two powerhouse actors. And so when they need to have those emotional, and they have those father-daughter scenes about getting into those moments and her own struggles along with Bob and everything, it is very powerful. I loved it. Awesome.
Great.
Okay. All right. I'm glad that Thunderbolts made your list. There's just too many good movies, man. Too many good movies. All right. Number 4, another movie that I walked out of crying, and that would be Hamnet. Hamnet was another movie with Paul Mescal that I loved, I cried in, and I will never watch again because I know that it will destroy me. Shout out to Aftersun, one of probably my favorite movies ever, but I still haven't seen it again since the first time I watched it, because that movie destroyed me big time. So Hamnet was really, really good, and obviously incredibly sad. And I guess like I know that Vince and I have talked about this a little bit before, but I did grow up doing a little bit of like the drama stuff and like the Shakespeare stuff here and there. And so I have kind of like a little bit of background into Hamlet itself and Shakespeare's life. And so I kind of know a bit about this story in its base, but not like the actual source. So Hamnet itself, the book that was written and that this was based off of, I hadn't read that. But I know a little bit about Shakespeare's life and about Hamlet and a lot of the meaning behind it. And so this movie was one that just touched me deeply. And that I thought that especially the performances in it just were what got me. Like, I think that the script was really well done and it was a smartly written movie. But at the end of the day, I think it really was just the performances of these characters, of this family, and the drama and the grieving and the sadness between them that really just kind of pushed it for me. And this is where I will mention the best child actor performance of the year. And sorry that I even have to look it up, but Jacob Jupe, who's the younger brother of Noah Jupe, who's been in quite a few things lately, he was the one who was Hamlet in the play, right? So his younger brother was the one who played Hamnet. He had me in my feels, because him and his sister, especially because even with him, no spoilers, I guess, I don't know. He just delivered a powerhouse performance at every moment that he was on the screen, at the beginning, towards the end, especially when they're doing the play thing. And then obviously Jessie Buckley, I think, was incredibly deserving of the Oscar that she won. Just her performance gutted me. And it was weird because I feel like those were my two favorite performances. And I still loved Paul Mescal's performance. I think he was probably one of the reasons I went originally, because I love Paul Mescal. And I think that he does incredible work and he makes me feel a certain type of way. And he still did. But I think that Jessie Buckley and Jacoby Jupe were the really, really big standout performances of this movie, and the one that made me feel just so many things. So Hamnet was incredible. I loved it.
All right, my number 4 is probably 3 and 4 might be able to like switch back and forth depending on my feel, my mood. But number 4 for me would be Sinners.
Ooh, nice.
Which is actually, I think only one other movie got a higher Letterboxd rating than tied for the highest rated. I gave 4.5 to Sinners, and there's one other movie that I gave a 4.5 to. So this one is actually my highest rated of the year, but isn't my favorite. I could just really appreciate it for what it was. It's a fun action movie. It kind of turns into a fun vampire movie towards the end, but it's so much deeper than that. It's a movie about music and culture, and it's got Oscar winner in it now, bunch of nominated Oscar nominated actors. But when it came right down to it, it was a really good glimpse into a moment in time, and then with vampires, kind of a thing. So I've seen it twice now. I don't know how to get into it. There's just so much that I really liked about it. I love a good vampire movie, and then and the music is amazing. And the main actor that they found to
Miles
play
Caton.
Preacher Boy, yeah, he was so good. Like, he did such a good job. He's such a good singer. They had a sequence in the middle of the movie that just kind of like it's pretty polarizing, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I guess so. And I've talked to people who do not like it, but I thought it was very, like, a moment in that movie that kind of just, like, made me kind of sit back and be like, oh, this is different. Ryan Coogler, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to stitch a moment together, so.
It feels so ethereal.
Yeah.
Just
the music's amazing. I think I've repeated that over and over, but not just the blues music, which is really good, but the composer did such a good job with the score. Deserved that Oscar as well. So yeah, Sinners would be up there for 3 to 4 depending on the day, but yeah, somewhere in there.
Well, we said before 3 we'd break to our next little mini list, but before we do, Sinners is my number 3, so I'll just tag it on at the end there. Sinners was incredible, and I loved it, and that's why it's so high on my list. And I think that you already touched on all of the things that I love the most. I think this dual role for Michael B. Jordan definitely earned him that Oscar. In these, at first I was just
was talking to somebody that was like, yeah, Michael B. Jordan won the Oscar. I was like, yeah, he did a good job playing twins. She's like, wait, he played twins? It's like, yeah, in Sinners. That was him, both of them? You're like, ooh. There you go. That's how good it was. Yeah. They said he was twins, and they look exactly the same. How did you not remember that?
Because here's the thing, right at the beginning of the movie, they do a good job, like kind of establishing like the color schemes for each of the brothers. But then because at first I was like, oh man, he's gonna play like two twin brothers, like their names are Smoke and Stack. How am I gonna tell them apart or whatever? And yeah, so they dress them in different colors. So you're like, oh, okay, so I'll be able to tell them apart.
You can tell.
There are two different people that these brothers act out as, and that Michael B. Jordan acts as with these brothers, and you're able to tell which one is which very quickly. They get to the end of the movie, and their stuff happens along the way with the movie, and so they don't end up in as strongly in the blue cap or the red big suit or whatnot, but you still know who's who, and him acting with himself as his brother are some of the most emotional and crazy kind of touching parts of the movie, and it's just action-packed and fun, and just a crazy time, man. I just love everything in it. I think Jack O'Connell does a great job, too.
Yeah. His little music sequence is fantastic as well. Their little party out in the dark.
Yes.
Oh, man, I kind of want to join the vampires.
So many good parts of this movie that just took me by surprise in the middle of the year. I went and saw it in IMAX, just and incredible, especially because it would switch its aspect ratios, and a lot of it would just be kind of in the standard movie format. But then, especially in IMAX, you'd have that moment where at the beginning of that scene that you were talking about in the middle, the music scene, it grew, to the full aspect ratio. And yeah, that moment just, when I was watching it, it just felt out of this world. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's a movie that you want like the best sound system you can for it.
For sure. Okay. All right. Let's jump into another quick break before we get to our top threes-ish, top 2.5.
Okay. All right, I'll go first on this one.
All right.
Least favorite movie of the year. Did you see Honey Don't?
I did. It was almost my least favorite. It was right there near the bottom.
I disliked this movie. It could be up. I wouldn't say it was like my most anticipated, but I was excited to see it.
It was almost my letdown too.
So well cast. Aubrey Plaza is so good. I really like. Is it Kaylee Qualley?
Margaret
Qualley. That's Margaret Qualley. I really like her. She keeps popping up and stuff, and I think she's got something. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the two of them paired with freaking.
She's got the substance.
Yeah, she's got the substance. The two of them paired with a Charlie Day movie. Like, come on. Like, I was so excited. It's going to be a freaking mystery, cop drama. Like, it was set up to be something that I thought I was really going to enjoy. And I walked out being like, what just happened in that movie? It felt almost unfinished, if I remember right. Like, they just finally was just like, they just threw everything at the wall at the end and just said kind of wrap it up and we'll just put this movie out and hope people forget about it. That's how it felt like to me. Just like such a letdown of a movie.
Yeah, I felt very similar.
Aubrey Plaza, not believable in this role for me.
That's the weird part. I love Aubrey Plaza, and I think that she does great work, and I think she deserves to be in more, because one of my favorite movies from last year was My Old Ass.
I want to see that one too. Never got her.
And she was so good in it. And that's the thing, is like she's been in these good roles that she can really embody well, and she does a great job. I love, if you saw Happiest Season, I think that she does a great job there, and she's really good. But I felt the same. This one I was not impressed. I was impressed with her or Margaret Qualley. Like, I feel like this was supposed to be like kind of like a spunky kind of character that, like, I don't think the writing did it any favors, but also I feel like this was supposed to be some kind of like funny but cool like detective movie where she's like this cool, lesbian cop or whatever that like is supposed to be kind of like this kind of, I don't know about iconic, but just kind of like this like character that'd be like, oh, like she's cool.
Yeah.
And it just was neither of them.
Fell hard.
Not good.
Charlie Day did great. It was funny. Charlie Day, great in everything he does. Except for I did see, that was another one. I don't know when that one came up. I saw his movie that he directed. Did you? I don't remember the name of it.
I don't know.
Probably don't waste your time on it.
All right. My least favorite movie of the year, and this one I just went strictly based off of Letterboxd ratings, just whichever one was at the bottom. I took it and I said, yeah, so I hated this. This was terrible. I'm even trying to remember a lot about it now, and I can't remember because I just kind of put it out of my brain. One of those ones that they try to make a cool premise so that they can get people to click on it on Netflix, and then they don't actually really care what happens after that. And that movie was Brick. I don't know if you saw that one pop up on Netflix at all. It's essentially like this couple Do you remember the guy from
Wait, not Brick, the Ryan Johnson movie, right?
No,
Okay,
Brick?
because that one's good.
This was directed by
Philip Koch.
Philip Koch.
Okay, it's this one. I've never even heard of this.
And so the main actor is Matthias Schweighofer, which he was in Oppenheimer, and he was in. Do you remember Army of the Dead? Did you watch that one?
Yeah,
with
I
Dave
did.
Bautista? He was like the safecracker guy and stuff
Okay.
in that. And so he's been in a few things lately that I think he's actually pretty good. But it popped up and it essentially was just like this, like, oh, like there's this apartment building and there's like this, I don't remember if it's husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, that they're like getting in this big argument or whatever. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they go to leave and just like their whole apartment building is just surrounded by this like unbreakable brick wall, and they're like trying to talk to their neighbors and they can, like, above them and below them, but just like the whole apartment building is just like bricked in and they don't know why all of a sudden for some reason. And so it's just like this, like, what's gonna happen, like, because like they show pretty much all of that in the trailer of just like, oh no, all of a sudden they're trapped in and they can't break out, what are they gonna do, what's going on. Nothing else freaking happens in the movie. It's just them trying to get out, but nothing happens. There's no character. Oh, terrible. Just like one of those Netflix movies, again, where they take like a half decent premise that sounds like it could be cool, and I clicked on it, and then an hour and a half or whatever it was later, I learned nothing else from what happened in the trailer. Other, like, they do get to the end, but it was unsatisfying, and I barely remember what happened. So
Okay.
this movie was terrible. Don't watch it. The end.
Go to the other Brick, right? Watch the Ryan Johnson
Watch
movie.
the Ryan Johnson movie. Don't get those confused. No, this one.
Yeah.
This one was terrible.
I
so.
was confused there for half a second. I was like, wait, Brick.
You're like, are you serious?
That was
bro?
good. And that didn't come out last year.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we're the top three. We
Okay,
talked
three
about
more.
Our top three of last year at the beginning of the episode. Now we're to our top three of 2025. And I hit mine, which was Sinners. So let's do
Okay,
yours,
so my number
Vince.
3. This is where I placed Marty Supreme.
Nice.
I loved Marty Supreme.
Hey, I'm
It
here
was-
for it.
It was so well cut. Like you said, the chaos of this man's life, it stresses you out, but you can't look away. Like, you kind of just hate him, but also want to see, like, you kind of hate Marty and the things
Oh,
that he's
yeah.
doing,
Oh, yeah.
but you also want to see if he can pull this off. Like, that just intoxicating, just like self, confidence, that intoxicating self-confidence that he has, that if he doesn't even think about the next step, he's just like, I'm just going to do it and things will work out.
What does he
because
say
I'm
to
the greatest.
Gwyneth Paltrow? Like, what if this dream of yours doesn't work out? He said, that doesn't even enter my
Yeah.
consciousness.
Doesn't even enter my consciousness. And he just does the stupidest things, and you just like watch him like making mistake after mistake. And
Just
you're
this train wreck, and you're like,
Yeah, and just getting worse and worse. I thought it was an extremely entertaining movie, and I was like gripping my seat through the whole thing along for the ride. Oh, what is her name? His girlfriend in the movie?
Odessia Asian? That's
She's
the actress's name. I
she's
think.
fantastic in it. I really liked her. I've never seen her in anything else. Odessa Asian, is that how you say her name?
I don't know.
She
I
was
think so.
great. I really liked her. And she was just as lost and confused as he was, and her just constantly trying to get his approval and doing whatever she can to support him, just to kind of keep him around, was just very entertaining to me. Gwyneth Paltrow did amazing. And it's all centered around ping pong, which I really like ping pong, which was a lot of fun. And then, so look at the marketing that was done for it from the
Yes.
outside. It's all very impressive. Just everything surrounding this movie was just a really fun moment in cinema to kind of follow along with. I'm not the biggest Timothée Chalamet fan. I don't hate him, but I thought he was fantastic in this. Didn't want him to win the Oscar, so I was kind of relieved that he didn't there. But I'm really excited to see what he does, because I think he really has like an eye for good roles. You know, he's great in Dune. He's great in this, and then I can't wait to see what he does after the next Dune movie. Like, if he's as passionate for his next movie as he was for Marty Supreme, then it just that by itself kind
Yes.
of excites me. But
I
yeah,
agree.
Marty Supreme was a fun ride.
I think so. Yeah. He's in for a big year. Let's see who else. I think it's like Zendaya this year is in for the craziest
heard of
year. Like, the
yeah.
drama just came out.
Want to see it really bad.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man. Maybe Avengers?
Whole New
Dune?
Day. I don't remember what it is. Whatever that one. She's in the Odyssey.
Oh, she's in Odyssey too?
She's in the Odyssey. I'm pretty sure. Am I crazy? Am I tripping? I think that she is. And then Doom Part 3, right? So yeah, maybe the event. I don't know.
Maybe? I don't
Probably
know.
not. I don't know.
Who knows what
But
that
she's in
one-
for a
there's lot
crazy
going
year
on.
there. Yeah, I mean, and so is Robert Pattinson. Kind of extended way is as well. Like he's obviously in Dune Part 3 as well. He was just in the drama, and then he's got Batman coming out next year, right?
Does that come out next year?
I think it's
I
supposed
really hope
to.
so. We've
I
been
don't know.
waiting too long.
Sorry if I give you false hope. I don't know for sure. I think it's supposed to come out soon. So, okay, number 2. Oh, man, I'm not gonna lie. My top 2 flopped back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But I ended on this, and I'm happy with it. So number 2 is a movie that has not been mentioned yet by either of us, but I know that we've already talked about it a little bit, and contains one of the biggest Oscar snubs, in my opinion, from this year. And that movie is Begonia. I loved Begonia. Begonia was incredible. Like, I just am a sucker for Yorgos Lanthimos, and him and Emma Stone are just creating some special movies. And I'll even tack on Jesse Plemons to that, because this is, I think, the second movie that he's done with them as well. And they just are a perfect match. And this movie was just so weird and gritty and keeping it spoiler free, guys. Keeping it
Yeah.
spoiler free. But this movie allows you to skip 30 seconds ahead. I can't.
We're going
I got to do it. This movie, my favorite thing about this movie is that there's 2 very obvious endings of how this movie's going to go, and the big kind of draw of it is that you don't know which one you're going to end up with. And this movie allows you to play out really the reality of both of those. It lets you do both, which is kind of like my favorite part of it, is that it like lets one happen and then the other one still happens, and you get to see the cool kind of crazy sci-fi and montage of all of that happening as well. And so just this movie's an incredibly like character driven movie, especially of Emma Stone, but mostly that's the thing, is like I know Emma Stone was kind of like in her sort of like role there, but Jesse Plemons, man, he did such a good job, and I just felt he was so snubbed for his performance. I think that he probably was right there, like kind of like the list of like kind of like next up for some of his nominations and things like that. But just what an incredible job that he did.
Yeah.
And working with the actor who they had playing the brother, which I forget his name, or cousin or whatever it is, but just
Yeah, he's good too.
he was good. And they just all did. This movie was such a crazy ride, and I just was enthralled from start to finish. And it was Yorgos Lanthimos, like, I wouldn't say at his weirdest, but in like a very weird, like, he just scratches that itch in my brain. If you remember from a long time ago, we did like a what are our favorite A24 movies, and I think at that time, I don't know if it would still be the case now, but maybe my favorite A24 movie was The Lobster, which is one of his earlier movies that I absolutely loved that he did. And yeah, he scratches an itch in my brain that I just love every time he does stuff and it's showing up on the screen. And they just explore so many kind of crazy, weird things in this movie that still has a lot to say while still just being zany and all over the place with incredible performances. So yeah, Begonia was my number 2.
I didn't even put it on my top 10, and I should have.
Oh,
like,
dang it.
I really liked it too, but that ending lost me pretty hard.
See, and that's the thing, is I loved it. And that could be just a personal thing, but I really like that. It's like, all right, like, spoilers again, skip ahead. like, okay, he's crazy and dies and stuff like that. And then it's like, just get it. Like,
It's so silly because
it is.
It wasn't just it was the production design also of the ending that lost me. It was that entire sequence. If I would have walked out of the movie at the first ending or whatever, quote unquote ending, then I'd probably been like completely satisfied with it. 4 stars. This movie was awesome. Love Emma Stone. But then it went into this extra moment, and I was just like, what is happening?
That's what I loved.
But yeah,
Oh,
Begonia is really good. I think Emma Stone is an incredible actress. I've loved her. I love her ever since freaking House Bunny days. You know, she's just been top of my list on everything she does. She's got taste when it comes to movies. Like
She picks
she's got
very good
weird
projects as well. And
great projects. Okay, so my number 2, we've already talked a little bit about it, but my number 2 is One Battle After Another. Seen it twice now. Holds up on the second viewing. Like, you've said a lot already about it. It's funny. It's a good action movie. It's incredibly well acted. Leonardo DiCaprio was my I was rooting for him to win the Oscar. I'm glad Michael B. Jordan got it. I think he deserved it. But Leonardo DiCaprio is so freaking funny in this movie. Him just running around in a bathrobe as this like burnt out father that doesn't really know what he's doing. That's like, he wants to protest the government. He's anti-government and he's anti-establishment, but also he's trying to like raise a daughter. And his like, just some of his like conversations with her where she stands up to him or like yells at him for drunk driving. He's like, "Hey, I know how to drunk drive," stuff like that. Don't chew me out. I'm the father here. No, that you're right. You're right to question me and everything I do. He's like, this comic kid just doesn't know what he's doing in life, I've spent the last decade smoking weed. I don't remember. I'm burnt out. He's funny.
Dude, that whole sequence had me rolling where he's on the phone and the guy's like, I need to know what, and I forget like what the question is.
What time it is, I think is what it is.
What time is
and
it?
Friggin'
And he's like,
Benicio.
I spent the last 30 years smoking weed, so I don't freaking remember.
And then there's like little things that I didn't notice the first time. I might have, but didn't stand out as much. But like when he's talking to that guy, he's asking for the time. Benicio del Toro's character, Sensei's in the background, like yelling the actual time. 12 minutes. 11:30,
so
like
funny,
he doesn't know what's going on, and he's so
A few small
oblivious. He's so oblivious to what's going on. He's so like stuck in his own world. He thinks this entire raid on the city is the government out to get him, which it kind of is, but like there's this whole other thing happening with the immigration situation, and Benicio del Toro, the other best character in this movie, Sensei, just cracking me up. Like, I loved it. It's a great again, kind of like Eddington. It encapsulates a moment in time that we're going through right now, and kind of parodies it in a way. I don't know if that's the right term, but it takes a moment in time that we can really see a reflection of what we're going through as a nation, but makes it an entertaining movie with like lovable characters. So yeah, One Battle After Another it's fantastic. It deserved all of its accolades.
Yes, incredible. And a very different role. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I just barely the other day for the first time watched Sicario. And so
I did too recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 6 months ago or something.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago for the first time, and that was a very different role for Benicio del Toro, but I love him in pretty much everything he does. He is incredible. So, yeah, incredible movie. We're to the number 1.
Not the best. Our favorite movie of the year.
Our favorite movie of the year. Hey, it could be best in our eyes is kind of how it goes. And we appreciate you guys for sticking with us, but I love doing this, and this is my favorite episode. So thank you, Vince, for taking time out of your evening to do this with me. I'll drop my number 1, which you've already talked a little bit about.
Maybe I should go first. Maybe you should do your number 1 last.
Why should I do my number 1 last? Have we already talked about your movie?
No.
Then I'll go first because we already talked about mine. We already talked about mine a little bit. I'm
I just
excited.
think people are going to be like, really? That's when it comes to
Hey,
mine.
man, that's what we're looking for. We don't have Casey here to throw an oddity or something else in right there near the top, or one that a lot of people haven't seen. So most of mine were all pretty basic movies that a lot of people have seen or liked this year. So
Okay.
that's the thing. I'm curious because now I don't know what it is.
You might judge me a little. No, you won't.
I'll judge you in a good
Maybe
way.
because it's number 1.
Hey, man, that's how it goes. Maybe you'll judge me for this one being my number 1, but I feel like you also know me, and so you'll be like, okay, I understand it. My number 1 is Weapons.
It is Weapons.
I
Okay.
love, dude. Weapons was the movie that I went to in theaters this year and just came out smiling because it was this horror, drama, comedy, just had such a good time. A crazy, insane cast that knocked it out of the park. I also loved Austin Abrams as this kid James, this crackhead. I loved the guy who played the cop, right? The guy who played Paul. Benedict Wong. I love Wong, of course. Josh Brolin did an incredible job as this dad. And then Julia Garner, I think this was a great role for her where she plays this like this school teacher who's just like been presented with this impossible situation, but she's got her own problems and stuff that's going on. And so she just has to deal with these parents and her own issues and this and that. And just like she's a very real person who's just thrown into this insane situation. The cast for this movie is just out of this world. And so the fact that, like you said earlier, they just each get to be the star of their own mini segment of this movie that tells the story in such a smart way, going from one part to the next and helping you understand and just showing you this crazy thing. And then at the same time being like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And then explaining it to you in one of the future segments that just shows a different character's events of what happened in the past, and you just piece the story together little by little to find out what happens. The screenplay for this movie was incredible. It's so good, and I just absolutely love Zach Kreger. Like, that was the thing. Like, this movie just made me laugh. It made me just love and feel like mysterious with everything that was going on with it, and so I just absolutely had a ball with this movie. And at the same time, the horror aspects and elements of it were really good. There were just like so many elements of it that kind of got me and caught me off guard in kind of these like weird, crazy ways of like things that you weren't expecting. And like, it didn't go too hard or crazy on the jump scares or this or that, but it did a really good job in just taking a very unique approach to a very scary situation. And it has its own, symbolism, but it's like take it or leave it. Like, it's like there's things that you can do and you can read into it about kind of what some of the things can mean, especially. And there are some very obvious moments that are like, what the heck, when it comes to symbols. But like, there are other ones, and there's a lot of commentary in the movie that can be dug into and that people can kind of like take their own conclusions from. And a lot of people have very similar feelings about a lot of pieces, but he as the director, a lot of times people are asking him about it, and he's like, just take what you want from it. He's like,
That's cool.
He's like, I've seen the stuff out there, and I have my own things that I've tried to say in this movie, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you like what I think that you should have gotten from this movie.
That's cool.
So Weapons was my number one movie of the year. And while it might not have been 5 stars, it was incredible, and I'm very happy. I mean, really, I was happy. Like I said, like I think 1 through 6 were all movies that I had at like 4.5 stars. And there was a lot of horror in there, and that's just what I love, man. A lot of good horror, a lot of good thriller that came out this last year, so I just had a ball with watching movies this last year. I'm very excited for your number one, Vince.
I've already talked your ear off about this one before, I think. So.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is?
I think I do now.
So Aziz Ansari came out with a little movie called Good Fortune. Where he partnered up with Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves and made one of the most heartwarming movies I've seen all year. Good Fortunes was hilarious, man. I love Seth Rogen, first off. I love that Aziz Ansari is back, and that this is the movie that he made his big comeback with. Like, we have been missing him for the last little while. I'm so glad that he is back in the business. Keanu Reeves playing a fallen angel just cracks me up. His line deliveries sometimes are just so funny. We went and saw this movie in a terrible screening. And I still walked out just like in love with it. The theater that we went to, for some reason, the audio was doing weird stuff. And so there was no music in it. Like, the score, everything, all it had was dialogue, and everything else was cut out. Like, it was very faint score. Like, I couldn't tell you what it was.
Weird.
But just the humor and the way that these characters interact with each other and the message of the movie in the end was enough to make me fall in love with it. Like, I want to see it again because I want to see it how it was supposed to be seen. But I even went and talked to the theater, the person running the theater. I was like, this thing is messed up. They're like, oh yeah, it's been doing that all day. I'm like, are you gonna fix it? They're like, no, there's nothing we can do. Okay, so we just
keep showing the movie.
it.
Okay, guys.
Like, do I get a discount? What's going on? Don't regret it. Don't regret sitting through it. Worth every penny. I thought it was so funny. And it's a message about how, you think that it's a message that, like, money doesn't bring happiness, but very quickly you learn that if your situation has changed and you have money and you're not sleeping in your car, you can easily find happiness. It might not be super fulfilling, but you can find happiness when you're rich. And it's kind of, the message is kind of like, it depends on what you do with your money and who you help, and you're, caring for your community. That's what really matters. And so if you are lucky enough to fall into a situation where you are well off, then take that and do good and help other people who aren't in that situation. Take that blessing that you have and help other people. And then on the other end of things, it's like Aziz's story is like, yeah, he can do a lot of things with money, but also he's got this girlfriend who, wouldn't trade that away, or wouldn't trade her situation, because she wouldn't leave the people that she loves behind and her community behind. And she wants to stay where she can and help the people around her. It's about doing good for other people and helping out other people when you can. And I just really like that message, especially like recently. Like, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that has gone on in the last 6 years of our lives, and we just need to look out for each other and help out each other. And that's the kind of message that I remember walking away from. It was just like, help each other out. And it's a feel good movie. So yeah, I loved Good Fortunes.
It is a feel-good movie. I don't want to end it on a negative note, but I know I mentioned this with you. My biggest thing was like I walked away with that same message, and I still thought it was good. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know how I feel about the big Hollywood actors with all the money giving me this message. Like
coming over here and kind of like,
just like, you guys don't need that. Just lift up the people around you. Like, you don't need to get rich to find these happiness, just to have, like, because I do agree with
our
the
Hollywood
message.
parties.
Exactly, that's the thing. So that was just like where I was like, that was kind of funky, but I still really, I think, like, because I have like a long list of everything. I think it's like 21 or something. So it's not like I didn't like it. Definitely not. Just definitely didn't have that high. But I know that you already gushed to me about this movie, and so I should have known that it was going to be your number one. But I'm happy. That I think it's a good one, and it's a solid one that everyone should like. It's one that I recommend to people. Be like, oh yeah, you should watch this. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
That's it. I hope that was a positive enough moment to to leave this out.
Sorry to bring it down.
I don't think
before
you
that,
because you're very right.
Hey man, that's how it goes. Those are our top 10 movies of the year, our least favorite movies, some of the biggest letdowns. And we've got a great year in 2026 coming up. We might have maybe some things lacking along the way. We already talked about Project Hail Mary, which I know will be on my top 10 list of next year, one of the ones that I love the most. We've got the Odyssey coming up. We've got Dune Part 3 coming up at the end of the year. Probably a few other ones that we're looking forward to and should be exciting, but it's always a great time to be watching some movies and watching some TV shows. If you guys have any recommendations for us, always feel free to hit us up on our socials. I still check it every once in a while. I've got it logged in, Instagram mainly, so feel free to send us some recommendations. And if you have an idea or ever would want to be on the pod, we might do the pod a little bit more. So just reach out to us, and we always love talking about movies. So feel free to hit us up. Any parting words of wisdom, Vince?
No, this is fun. I want to do this some more. So good
Awesome.
to be back.
Sweet. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you in the next one.